Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's session of live content review using technical analysis. So for today's session, with the flow be same as per usual. First, I'll go through the U.S. economic calendar. Then afterwards, I'll talk about some of the indices and commodities. And then followed by some of the sectors like uh the Magnificent Seven, U.S. banks, U.S. semiconductors, as well as the EVs. Then last but not least, I also talk about the counters you all have. So any questions you all can just drop in the Q&A. Yeah. So first up, this week, tonight, later on at 9:45, there's gonna be some PMI numbers coming out. So there's S&P Global Manufacturing as well as Services PMI. And we also have existing home sales at 10 p.m. Then also throughout this week, there's also some FOMC members speaking. Okay, then going to tomorrow, uh, nothing much. Then there's also consumer confidence tomorrow at 10 p.m. Then I think Fed Chair Powell will be testifying at 10 p.m. as well. Okay, then afterwards, Wednesday, 4:30 a.m., there's API, crude oil stock. And at night, Wednesday, there's building permits, 8:30 p.m. Fed Chair Powell continue to testify at 10 p.m. New home sales at 10 p.m. as well, and then core inventories at 10:30 p.m. Okay, then on Thursday, the usual stuff, jobless claims at 8:30 p.m. Then we also have some GDP numbers, 8:30 p.m. as well, durable goods. Uh, there's also retail inventories, 8:30 p.m. Then, yeah. Going to Friday, something to take note will be the PCE. So that's at 8:30 p.m. And then Michigan uh consumer inflation expectations, that's at 10 p.m. Yeah, so quite a lot of data every day, but I think the key ones will be uh, probably see what Powell will be talking about on, I think, Wednesday as well as Thursday. Wait, sorry. Yeah, Tuesday and Wednesday. Then Friday will also be important to see what the PCE numbers are. Yeah, so that's roughly for the economic calendar. Next one, I'll jump to Bitcoin. So I think for Bitcoin, there was a dip. There was a dip yesterday, slightly below 100K, and then start to recover above it. I think you should be able to find some support at this level because 101K is quite a strong support over here. And below that, the next support is around 97.5K as well. On the weekly, something I see on the weekly is also currently actually tested the 10 period MA. So previously, I think something similar happened over here when there was a dip to this level, and then subsequently we saw a bit of a bounce back up again. So we might be seeing something similar again over here for Bitcoin, where it could find some support at the current levels. Yeah, then some short-term resistance would be the recent breakdowns below like 103.3K to about 105K area. So that's for Bitcoin. Then next one, Dow Jones. Or Yeah, for Dow Jones last week, it was trading below the short-term moving averages over here for last week, and this came after it was under this upward support line as well. So this 42.8K level still proving to be a strong resistance. I think just consolidating at 42.1K last week. So I think this week, if we see a break below 41.1K, I think we could see some further pullback to test some of the lower support levels like 41.8K, as well as the next one is probably a 41.3K. Yeah. So for Dow, I think some short-term weakness as price is below some of the short-term moving averages. And yeah, also since 42.6K, since the breakdown on 2 Fridays ago, then yes, still held that level as resistance. So some short-term weakness. The next one for Nasdaq. Yeah, Nasdaq since trading under this upward support line, but price has been generally sideways. So I think for now, uh, yeah, price is just slightly sideways at the 5 and 10 ME levels, but still holding above the 20 ME. So I think for now still okay, unless there's a break below this 20 ME, which is like 19.3K, then perhaps you might see some pullback towards like 19.2 22, there's some support, and then 18.8 is the next support level over here. So generally still quite sideways with resistance still holding at the recent highs, like 19.7K onwards. So we might still see a bit of sideways unless it breached like 19.2K, then we can see a more, then perhaps if there's more weakness coming in, if it breaks below this range consolidation. And next one is S&P. Yeah, S&P also just holding sideways after it broke down a rising wedge formation, but still holding at 5,970. So this level is, I think, is quite important because previously 5,970 was a resistance in the middle of last month, and then price broke above this resistance and continue to hold it, then just trading sideways. So last week it was holding here at support multiple times, but if there's a breakdown below, which is also a 20-day MA, then they might see more, they might signal more weakness to test like 5,860 as the next support. Yeah, so now still moving sideways for now, and resistance still is at recent levels like 6,020 onwards. Yeah. Okay, then next one for gold, I think gold is just quite sideways for now. Last week tested this 3,430 level, and then there's a bit of a pullback, and coming back at this level 3,370 about there. So I think this level should be able to hold because this was a bit of resistance in the over here. It's end of May, and then price broke above it. Now it's currently doing a back test. Still, yeah, overall still okay. They are still forming like higher lows along the way, higher swing lows along the way. So I think price might just hang around here for a while. It's also around the 20 MA level. Yeah, so as long as this level isn't broken, then it's okay. It should be still just moving sideways for now, I guess. Next one is oil. So oil, I think not much happening despite the attacks over the weekend. Yeah, still actually today open it's still below the highs of 2 Fridays ago. So there was like 77 around here is still a bit of resistance. So I think price looks like, I think probably for now still looks like a bit of a sideways with first level of support probably around this 73.8 level, which is this the consolidation highs of last week. Yeah, so this is also the 5 MA. So this first level, then if price dips below the 5 MA, which it hasn't done so since the start of the conflict, then the next support level to look out maybe like 71.5 around here. The retest of the 10 MA level. Yeah, so I think for now probably we might still see some sideways kind of action over here. Maybe a bit of higher lows compared to last week, but rather still sideways. Unless unless price managed to break above 77, 78. Yeah, then that one, if that happens, then next reason will be like close to 81. So that's for WTI oil. Next one for VIX, I think VIX looks like it could signal a bit of more caution going ahead, because I think it has held above the short-term moving averages for quite a period of time, since 2 Fridays ago. Previously over here there was a bit of spike, but then it faded off the move. But since price held like this at this 17 level and then following the gap up, it's just been consolidating sideways. So as long as it remains above like 18.5, I think this level over here, they might signal continued caution. Then yeah, so currently it's kept around 20, like it's below 22. So if it goes above 22, the next level will be like 20. That will signal more volatility ahead if it goes above 22. Then the next recent level for VIX will be like somewhere between 25 to 28, given the previous spikes. So VIX, I think something to still need to watch out for the VIX if there's any spike coming in the near term. Then next one is the copper. So copper, I think still moving quite sideways, nothing much, just 4.9 is still a bit of resistance, and then support is still right 4.78 around there. So just moving sideways. Yeah, so that's it for the indices and commodities. Now move on to the sector. So first one I'll talk about the Magnificent 7 counter. So this one I'll be looking at the index, more of the index first, this Roundhill Mag 7 ETF. Yeah, so I think for Magnificent 7, it's generally still trade holding up within this upwards channel itself. But I think if something to watch out if there's a bit of a breakdown below this support lah. So I think this 52.8 support is quite important because this is around the 20 MA level where it has continued to hold as support along during this recent trend. And this is also the channel support. And I think on the MACD there's also some negative divergence. So price moving higher, but there's a bit of weakness on the indicators. Yeah. So if there's a breakdown below 52.8, then that will signal more caution. Yeah. Then the next support, if it does happen, the next support probably somewhere like 51.3 this swing. Then since for now the price is facing some resistance above 54. Yeah, so we might see continued sideways movement or if some downside if there's a breakdown. Then next one, I'll move on to the encounters. First one is Meta. Yeah, so for Meta, I think possible some slight weakness in terms of momentum. Yeah, there's a bearish crossover and price could be below this upward support line over here. So even though it's very strong, it's moving sideways recently with resistance close to 710. And this support I think is important 680 this single level over here because price has been forming higher lows along the way during this hours move. So it does break 680, we might see some a retest of some lower levels like 660 coming. Yeah, this is also around the close to a 20 MA level as well. So I think this must hold for some sideways movement. If not, we might see some downside. Next one is Apple. So I think Apple is Apple was last week. Last week is actually trending lower below 200, and I think Friday it was quite strong compared to the overall market itself. So quite strange. And so currently doing a retest of this 200 202 breakdown level. So over here, I think price needs to if there could be some resistance over here, but I think if it there could be some resistance over here, but if it goes above that, I think we could see another test of like 205, 206 again, back at this horizontal resistance. Yeah, given its kind of its strength on Friday, it's a bit surprising as well. Yeah, so let's see how it goes today. The next one is Amazon. Amazon also seeing some a bit of a weakness if it does break below this upward support line. And yeah, just moving a bit sideways with continued resistance at 217. So I think we could see perhaps some dip if it does break below this 20 MA as well, currently at 209. Yeah, next support level will be somewhere like 205, this level here. Yeah, so we might still see some continuous sideways movement. Yeah, for Netflix, I think it still remains very strong. So Netflix is just still hugging, just moving along this trendline resistance. And I think for now it's still holding about this 1,210 level. So still okay, holding as long here, still holding as support. Then it's also holding at 20 MA level as support over here as well. So still very strong compared to the rest. And we might still see just maybe some sideways movement between like 1,210 to 1,260 this area over here for now. And then for Alphabet, there was one of the weakest one on Friday, but there was a 3% pullback on increase. Okay, wait, there was a witching day as well. So I think important for if the trend is the trend was to continue upwards, it must continue to hold this upwards trend line, upwards channel over here, this blue color channel. Yeah, also this 165 is also an important level because over here price was facing resistance before a breakout and then a back test it continued to move higher. So this is a very key level, 165 horizontal level as well as channel support. Yeah, so over here, if it holds, we could still see some rebound, but I expect resistance at like 172, 173, this recent breakdown level, then if there's a bit of breakdown, if there's a breakdown below 165, then the next support level will come somewhere like close to 157, 158, this zone here. Yeah, so this one need to watch out at the start of this week, whether it continue to respect this trend or not. And last but not least, for Microsoft still one of the stronger names. I just moving sideways last week, but I think still moving at the still holding out in the short term MAs like the 5 and 10 MA over here. So I think it's still trend following, but if let's say there's a breakdown of 475, maybe this 10 MA level coupled with this channel support, right? Then that could signal some short-term weakening of this strong trend. So that could be something to take note of. 475, then next support level will be likely be around 468 around there for Microsoft. And so in general, that's it for the Max 7. Then I'll move on to the financial sector. I'll start off first with the XLF. So XLF, nothing but still just moving sideways, I guess. Yeah, so the key support is still around 49.6 over here. Price is just moving sideways in the range. So yeah, probably still range bound unless there's a break. Unless there's a break below this 49.6, then we could see then the next support level will be somewhere around 48.5 things. Yeah. Talk about the four banks. First up, starting with JP Morgan. So JP Morgan, I think is still a very strong trend over here. Price was consolidating 269, and then there was a breakout last Wednesday above this 269 resistance. So a bit lower than 278 these retest of highs over here, but overall still a strong trend. I think yeah, over here there might be some resistance from the retest of the previous all-time high, but I think it's still a very strong trend over here. You might see some sideways consolidation. Yeah. Then next one is Bank of America. Yeah, so Bank of America, I think over here, though we break down the pricing wedge over here, but still holding the horizontal level 44.1 over here, then did a rebound, strong end to the week. I think over here, so over here, I think if it can break above this 45.6 level, then it could perhaps test the next level upwards, like 46.3 to 47, this area of resistance over here. Yeah, then for Bank of America. Okay, then next one for Wells Fargo, I think it's just still moving sideways over here. So the key support is still holding $72, and the price is just moving sideways. I think there could be some resistance still holding at for close to 77 now, which has held over 77 to about 79 should be the continued resistance as they continue to move range bound. Then next one for Citigroup. Citigroup also just moving sideways, but still holding the trend well. I think still holding the 20 MA, and then this previous horizontal resistance at 76 still holding a support. Yeah, so just moving sideways, and I think next resistance level probably be around $80. Yeah. So that's it for banks. I think still moving quite well. Next one I'll talk about is the semicons. So for semicons, I think still last week was relatively sideways, but yeah. So, but I think the important to watch out this week will be whether it continues to hold this upward support line over here, which has been respecting since it continued moving outward since April. And if it does break down over here, we might see some continued weakness to test. If it does a breakdown, we might see some weakness to test like close to 5,000 level, which is the 20 MA level, as well as this horizontal resistance. Okay, first up, next one is first up for the chips is Nvidia. So Nvidia, I think it has been possibly trading in this upwards channel over here. Then price has been very sideways, finding resistance at 145. I think there's also negative, there's also some bearish divergence as well. So currently still holding at the short-term 5 and 10 MA levels. But if there's a breakdown below this 143, then I think we could see perhaps some dip to test the 20 MA level at 140. Yeah, 140, 139 to 140 area as the first level support. Then next one will be around 135. Yeah, so if there's a breakdown below this channel support, then there could be some slight pullback in the near term. And for AMD, it's been quite strong recently, but I think it has hit also a resistance level at 131 over here previously was a horizontal resistance. Then above there will be like somewhere like 142 somewhat. Yeah, so for now, after over here, it's been like 3 days of sideways since the strong move on last Monday. So I think we could see maybe some consolidation continue for now with some support in the near term coming from the 5 and 10 MA levels. That could be around 124, 125 that area. So it could do some sideways consolidation first. Yeah, but overall still a very strong trend, still holding at the above the upward support line and above the short-term moving average. So yeah, still a strong upwards trend. Next one, TSM. So TSM, I think yeah, still just moving sideways for now. 216, some resistance over there. Above that, the next reason probably around 222. And for now, I think it could be a bit of a dip to test very, I mean, 200, close to 204, which is also a horizontal support level as well. So we might see some sideways consolidation for now over here at 204. Then below that, the next support level is around 196 for TSM. Yeah, so for TSM, maybe some sideways. Then for ASML, for ASML also quite range bound. The resistance here at 775 and then the support level basically still at around 723. So just quite range bound over here, moving sideways. Yeah, for Marvel, I think it's been one of the stronger names recently as well. So Marvel, um, currently I think there was a gap up above this 73 level, and then continue as yeah, just continue to stay around there for Thursday and Friday. Sorry, Wednesday and Friday. So I think for now, this resistance level at 71 could become the short-term support, which is also the 5 and 10-day averages. So price could rebound from these levels, still moving up slowly over here. Yeah, then the next resistance upwards could be get a few around this close to 785 this level over here. Yeah, if it continues this upwards trend. Yeah. Yeah, I'll talk about three more with Micron, Broadcom and Intel. So for Micron, still very strong trend. Yeah, just still continuing on the strong trend, currently at around 123 and respecting the 5 ME levels. Since it broke above this 110, 114, yeah, the next level of resistance could be this close out a gap over here at 127, and then 130, 127 to 130 will be likely the next resistance area. Yeah, for Micron. Yeah, so I think it's still a very strong trend, continue to trend higher for Micron. And next one is Broadcom. Yeah, Broadcom after the earnings gap down, it's just been moving sideways with resistance around 255. I think support for if it does break below the Friday lows, then it could test the support area at around 236 to 240 over here. Yeah, so I think for the short term wise, likely to still be a bit of a sideways kind of movement for Broadcom. Yep. Then for Intel, yeah, still rather sideways. Whenever it goes above 31, this 3150 area, every time over here find resistance. So just yeah, still quite sideways, but some positive will be like some higher lows compared to the past over here. So previously there was like 18.5, and here was like 19.4, and now it's like 20.1. So it will be a higher lows from the way. So I think there could still be a chance in the future to try to break above the resistance lah. If you continues this trend of higher lows on the way. Yep, so that that's for Intel. Yeah, could be still consolidating sideways for now. Okay, then I'll move on to the EV counters. First up, Tesla. So I think Tesla yeah, just move consolidating sideways in a very tight range. So since the breakdown of this 335 support level turned to short-term resistance, but price has been just kept sideways. I would think it's probably this area over here. So I think this week need to see whether there's a break upwards or downwards. If it breaks below 316 this level, we might see some downside towards 292. The horizontal resistance, there's slightly a support. But if there's a breakout above 335, then we could see price go back up towards 360 this level over here. Yeah, so for now, still consolidation, waiting for the next move, I think. Okay, next one for Xpeng. Yeah, nothing much, just still sideways, but just yeah, still for now, since the breakdown of 19.1, that still remaining under it. So I think we could see some continued short-term weakness, maybe a retest of 17.5, this level of support. Yeah. Then next one is new. Yeah, new also just drifting a bit lower. And yeah, we could see a test of this 3.3 level for some rebound, but I think should be facing some resistance at short term above 3.5 to 3.6. The last one is Rivian. Yeah, for Rivian, I think yeah, just moving sideways for now, below this 14.45 level, some resistance, and then currently some support around 13. So just moving sideways for now. Yeah, so that's it for the counters. I'll move on to the questions you all have in the Q&A. So first one is IPY your counters, C3AI, T, and ARM. Okay, so first up, C3AI. C3AI, I think it's some shorter weakness because previously it was forming higher highs and higher lows along the way. And then after this, the earnings, there was a spike, and then price came down, and then it held below some of the short-term moving averages, and there was a breakdown below this horizontal levels like 2450 lah. So it was consolidating. We had support, but there was a breakdown below this higher resistance as well. So some short-term weakness. I think if price could see some bit lower to maybe test the next support level over here, like around 22 to about 2250 this area. Yeah, then it might just hold some sideways again. Yeah, that's my feel for C3 AI. For AAT and T, yeah, I think for this counter, nothing much for now. Still quite range bound, I guess, on the looks of it. The good thing is that higher lows are actually formed along the way, higher swing lows along the way. So there's some bit of a strength coming. As long as it maintains these levels, then if there's a breakout of this 28.5, then we could see uh some upside, because overall it's still the good thing is overall it's still a uptrend, and recently it's just been very sideways since March. So a very prolonged consolidation. Then if it breaks above 28.50, then we could see some upside again. So good thing is that higher lows along the way. Yeah, next one is Yeah, for I think price is still trending quite well over here, since still higher highs, higher lows, and previous resistance 135, 136 still holding a support, and price is still above some of the short-term moving averages. So still strong. I think short-term support for now maybe is around 140, 141. If it breaks below, it breaks above like 148, then I think we could still see price continue higher to maybe test 155, perhaps is the next resistance. 185, then followed by 168. Yeah, so I think for is still a good uptrend over here. Okay, high. Next one is GameStop, Teladoc, and Silo. Yeah, for GameStop, I think we could see maybe a bit of a range bound kind of movement, since it's back. Since it retested this 2150, around 2150, then this swing low continue to hold as a bit of support. So we might see something similar over here, maybe a bit of sideways first. Yeah, around here with price just sideways, and 2570 could be the short-term resistance the previous support levels. For Teladoc, I think still nothing much, just range bound. Yeah, been very long time. 660 is still the key support, and above like 750 is like the resistance. So just still very range bound. And for Silo Tech, this one very low volume. It's like it's like maybe 1,000, 2,000 shares. So not sure whether T is very applicable, but from the looks of it, it's very sideways. Just recently it's between like 4.7 to about 5.2 around here. Then generally there could be some support at 4.5. The resistance like 5.3 upwards. So I think it should be still pretty sideways. Yeah, for this counter. Okay, the next one is some of the crypto related ones like Mara, Hive, Riot, and DDBT. For Mara Holdings, I think it's a bit sideways right now still. Yeah, price is coming back down to test this 14 level. So over here we could see a hold as a bit of support for a bit of bounce. But some short-term resistance for now will be like 15 onwards to 15.5 perhaps. And then for Hive, I think price bit of weakness below where is 1.8. So I think for now, you could see some dip towards like from this 1.55 to 1.6 this area over here as the next support. And for Riot also just moving sideways, just above this 9.2, 9.3 previous reasons, still holding as a bit of support. And I think for now, some reasons will be like some reasons for now is like 10.2 and followed by 10.9 here. So I think we still rather range bound, I guess. And BTBT, yeah, this one also moving sideways, some support will come in like 2.27 over here. Next one is like 2.14 around there. So I think could be still very range bound for now. Okay, next one is on GE Healthcare, Carrier Global, and RTX. Yeah, for GE Healthcare, for now, it's a bit sideways. Yep, $71 is still the support over here since it was a bit of consolidation, price move outwards, and then just moving sideways for now. So 71 still the support. If there's a break below that, then we might see test below test like 69.50 somewhere around here. Yeah. Then generally I think it's still quite sideways. Some reasons for now is like above 73. So we might still see some sideways kind of movement. And next one is Carrier Global. Carrier Global, yeah, just range bound as well now. Like 69, around 69.50, and then 72 is a bit of resistance. So very, very range recently over here. So I think we'll likely still continue on in this range. Unless there's a break below 69, then next support could be like 67.50 around there. For RTX, yeah, RTX I think is still a very nice trend over here. So since the breakout like 136, price still finding support. And I think still new highs as well. So respecting along the short-term move averages. So for now, I think yeah, if it breaks above like 149, like we could still see some higher highs. And for now, short-term support probably around 144 around here. Yeah, still I think still a strong counter for RTX. And this one is on MicroStrategy as well as Coinbase. Yeah, from MSTR, I think MSTR, I think it's a bit of a consolidation recently. But I think we could see some weakness if it breaks below this 365 level. So could be in a bit of this triangle over here, and below that we could see maybe a retest of 359, as well as the next support level is around three uh, somewhere around 345 around there. So that's for MSTR, just moving sideways, but yeah, but still facing a bit of still facing some resistance for 380s. For Coinbase, I think it's pretty strong after a spike on Thursday. It was sorry on Wednesday. Yeah. So I think currently price tested this 310 level. 310 level over here. There might be some short-term resistance, but overall I would still think this counter is quite strong. Yeah, since the breakout of this 210 after results, price sideways, then there was a big rally. So overall, it's still a very strong uptrend counter. I think at most maybe see some consolidation over here. If we just break above 310, then I think we could most likely would still see the uptrend continue to test like this next resistance around 335 to 350. And next one, high David your counters, Google and Baba. I talk about Baba because I went through Google just now. For Alibaba, I think uh moving a bit sideways recently. So we're currently doing another retest of this 108, 109 support level again. But overall, still not much strength now as price is still forming lower highs along the way for now still. And I think resistance in the short term might be like 114, 115 over here. So I think maybe still range bound, but perhaps with lower highs. Yeah, then if it does break below 108, then the next support level could be somewhere around 102, 103 for Alibaba. Yeah. So I think for now maybe just sideways, but still a bit weak. Next question is on Surf Robotics. Yeah, for Surf Robotics, I think yeah, since the breakdown of this 11.4 level is probably some weakness coming. So because this is I think this is also like a penny stock, and a bit of previously it was some momentum, but then it moved sideways. Then after the sideways, it was a break above below this 11.4 and below some of the short-term moving ranges. So with that, I think we could still see some further pullback, I guess, to test the next support level around, I think around 90.6 around here. Then we might see some rebound coming. Yeah. Okay, hi Mick, your questions on SoFi. Yeah, so I think SoFi, I think it's still looking okay. From the look of it, still a breakout of 14.5 after the higher lows, and they are still respecting some of the short-term moving averages. So I think hopefully can continue to make a new higher high this week above 15.6. Then the next likely resistance should be this 16.6, this area around here. Yeah, so I think SoFi is still looking okay. Okay, hi Sharon, good evening. Your questions on two support and resistance for Micron, Dell, and Coke. Then is it a right time to buy Coke now? Okay, so first up, for Micron, the next resistance I would think is somewhere around 100, this 127, where it does possibly a gap fill to 130 even. Then the next one is around 136. Then for short-term support-wise, I think should be around 120 and also 116 this level. So that would be like around the recent short 5 and 10-day moving averages. As for Dell, I think uh, last Friday looks like a breakout of this range, 116. So I think could move on to the next resistance around this one, probably around 124 is the next resistance. Then the next one maybe somewhere like 131, yeah, for Dell. And support wise for now, probably 100, this fresh breakout 116. And below that, I would think maybe probably is the range back again, like 110 over here. Yeah, then for Coke, take a look. Okay, Coke one support level is at around 68. This around 68 over here. Next one is around 60, close to 66 lah, 65 ET around there. Then resistance is some breakdown of this $70 recently. Then somewhere above would be like 71.50, $72 this area. So whether is it right time to buy Coke? I think it's from the looks of it, it's very range bound now. This very range bound counter over here. So I think here since the RSI is quite low, like 36 right now, near the oversold level. So here can consider, I think, for maybe one entry. And since it's one support level, then here is also the next support level. So I think it's rather range bound. Yeah, but I think for now maybe 70 is also a resistance. So should be quite nothing much going on. The range won't be that big, I guess, for yeah, still very much range bound. Hi, Busion, your counters are Palantir, SMCI, and C Limit. Now, Palantir, I think is still the uptrend is still quite steady. So last week, they're still holding this this breakout the range between 120 to 133, and last Monday also made a new high. So I think for now it looks like a bit of a consolidation. So I think probably it could just do a bit of sideways consolidation. Support for now probably 133 to this 137 this area lah. Then some resistance are 141 and around 145. So probably still sideways, but still very strong uptrend. SMCI. Okay, SMCI, I think it's I had a technical buy call on it. So I think it was I think before that it was moving okay. So previously this like 38. There was a range resistance over here. Then price settled over here on range, still holding above that, holding above this recent support. Then it's just consolidating sideways, but I saw recently there's a bit higher lows, and Friday managed to break out, but today is a bit gapping lower. I think there's some before this webinar, I saw there was a bit of news on some convertible debt offering lah. So that could have made it gap down a little bit. So I think let's see later whether I think as long as can continue to hold above these short-term moving averages, like around 42, 43, this area, then this must hold as support lah. Then hopefully then we see a bit of recovery back up. Then possibly it could trend higher to test, like for now is 48. Then next reasons like come somewhat like 55. Yeah, so for now I think you see whether this holds as support 42, 43. Then for C Limited, I think for now the momentum still slowing down a bit. So yeah, since it couldn't hold 165 and then this 157, the breakdown has also turned into resistance now. So over here you can see signs of some short-term weakness from also trading below the short-term moving averages. So I would think we might see some continue pullback to maybe test this support around 147 now. 147 you might find some support around here. Yeah, so just some pullback after a strong rally. Okay, next question is on Oklo, then Oklo, SoFi, Marvel. Okay, Oklo I think is a very strong counter. Then yeah, just some very volatile as well. Currently, I think it looks like a back test of this breakout of $56. So I think over here, also near the 20 MA level, I think should be able to find some support for a bounce over here. Then I think in the short term wise, it could do some sideways kind of movement with some resistance, probably from 68 to 73. So I think over here, should be finding a bit of support because this was a breakout level. And then previously this was resistance as well. So I would think this 56 should be a bit of support coming in. Then for SoFi Marvel, I went through just now. The next one is on Adobe, ACN, CRM, Moderna, and CrowdStrike. Okay, for Adobe, I think yeah, some weakness for now because after the results, so it's gapped down, and then we can see there's previous support around 403 turn became resistance. So break down this range, and price continue to trend lower along below the 5 MA level. Currently is around the support. So 375 over here. This was an area in the past there could be some support. Yeah, this area there might be some support for some slight bounce, but I think could be quite limited because it's still below the 5 MA, the 380. For now, maybe 384 or 385 could be some resistance. Then the next support level should be around like 363 around here. Yeah, so that's for Adobe. I think some short-term weakness still. Next one is Accenture. So for Accenture, gap down after the results, but tested the support, still holding around 275, 276. Yeah, so I think for now, I think we might see maybe some sideways, I guess, with resistance maybe around if there's some rebound, maybe like close to 298, 298, there might be some resistance from the previous horizontal levels. And so I think for now, as long as 275 to this level holds, we might see some sideways first, since it's just the first day one after the results, bill gap down. Next one is Salesforce. Yeah, for Salesforce, to be a bit sideways recently, some support holding around 258 over here, but I think there's still quite a lot of resistance upward, especially above 268. Yeah, so I think for now maybe still sideways, but if there's a breakdown below 258, that might be we might see some weakness next to 249 or 244 to 249 this area where there's also a gap around here as well. So because their price is just moving a bit sideways recently. Next one is Moderna. For Moderna, I think generally nothing much is going on right now. There's a bit of here is a bit of support, like around this 2550. There's a bit of support, but generally it's stuck in the range since start of April, between 2330 to about 2860. Yeah, so I think nothing much just for now. Just here's a bit of support where it might hold 2550. But I think short term wise, I could expect some resistance maybe close to 2660 around here. Yeah, so maybe still sideways for Moderna. Okay, then CrowdStrike. Okay, for CrowdStrike, yeah, looks to be a bit sideways for now, but I think the uptrend is still holding pretty well over here, and still holding around, still looks to be respecting along the 20 MA as well. This is a yellow line, so I think for now maybe some support. So they holding around 470, which is also this a bit of consolidate. Since the gap down after earnings, a bit of consolidation and price broke over 470. So this will likely be a short-term support. So I think for now maybe consolidation between 470 and 490. Then if it breaks above 490 again, we likely see the uptrend continue outwards. Okay, next one is a EWZ, uh, LVMH and Nike. Okay, so this EWZ is the iShares MSCI Brazil ETF. So looks from the look of it, I think it looks like a bit sideways recently. But there's a bit of this resist. It's managed to break out of this recent 2760. So here could be able to hold as support. Then thing could continue higher since price is also trending higher generally. Yeah. Then the next level of resistance would be somewhere around like 29 to 2970. So I think it's still trending upwards. The next one is on the LVMH. Yeah, for LVMH, I think yeah, still very weak. I think still extending down the downtrend. I think we could see the downtrend continue. So next support level may be somewhere around 430. Yeah. And next one is on Nike. For Nike, I think there's earnings coming out this week as well. So, but for now, looks like still range bound. Possibly break below this upper support line around 60.7, but still maintaining this key horizontal level around 59. So this was resistance holding as support. So I think this 59 very important to hold. If not, we could see some weakness down to maybe 56, 50 next. But just holding sideways for now, we are still in the range. Then maybe some short-term resistance would be like around 61.3 here. The next question is on Disney. For Disney, I think it's still trending up nicely. Above this 114 since the breakout. Price moving sideways, but still holding up the move. Just between 117 to 120 area. Yeah, so I think it's still okay. Um, and maybe a bit of a consolidation for now. But if it breaks above 120, then I think we could see it trend higher towards 122 next. Yeah. So I think it's still a nice trend over here. Hey, hi James, your counter is MCOS, Cisco, and RELX. Okay, for MCO, I think it's just range consolidation right now since the rebound of this above 415, then still moving up nicely and just enter into a range since middle of last month. So I think it's still okay. And it's just if it breaks above 400, this range resistance 492, I think it's likely still move upwards. Previously above this level there's also a gap, so that could it will come to the next resistance area like 520 to 530 this area. So I think it's still looking okay for MCore. Next for Cisco, I think it's also okay. Around this, still holding is around $66 at resistance, but there's higher lows being formed. So that's still a good sign. And I think if can break above this resistance, we're likely to see trend higher, I guess. Yeah, towards the price as well. And next one is on R PLC. And so this one also quite low volume. And for now, I think it looks a bit range bound. So probably between 51 to this 54, 50 area. Yeah. And short term wise, it's also some below some of the short term moving averages. So I think we might see some pullback towards close to 51. Around this close to 5150, then might see some rebound on from here. Yeah, I think for the short term wise, just range for this counter. Hi Jocelyn, your question is on Viva Systems. Okay, for V Systems, I think after the earnings gap up, it's just been consolidating sideways, but I think it's still okay. still above the 20 MA, and then just maybe 273 to this 290. So just sideways if there's a, yeah. So I think still moving okay lah. As long as it doesn't break below this 264, this opening price. So I think this chart actually kind of similar to Coinbase, I think. Yeah, I see. I feel like it reminds me of Coinbase over here after the, okay, this was after it added to S&P, then just moving sideways over here. So we might see some sideways, and if hopefully there's a breakout of resistance and might continue to trend higher. So that's for Viva, probably sideways, and hope for a break above 292, then could continue upwards. Then the next key resistance might be somewhere close to like 312, 313, this area. Oh yeah, oh Sharon, sorry. Yeah, I saw your question is on COKE, not cooking. Sorry, I misunderstood. COKE. Okay, but hopefully this is the right one. Yeah, this Coca-Cola consolidated. Okay, for this, I think over here it could be a good time to buy. So around price around quite low, 37, and then this is also an area of support like 105. Yeah, hopefully this is a double bottom over here as well. And short price probably a bit of range one with resistance at close to 111, 112, this area. And so for now might be still be range bound, but hopefully this 105, 106 support is holding. Yeah, so this for code. Okay, then there's a question on firm. And for a firm, I think it's still trending well since breakout of this 54 level, price tested a bit of resistance go to 65, 66, this area, and it's pulling back slightly, but still holding some of the short-term MAs like 58, 59. So I think for now, maybe just some consolidation over here. Yeah. Where this 58 level is likely to be a support. Yeah. So I think we could expect some sideways consolidation. Then if it breaks below 65 again, we could continue the uptrend to test 72, 73 as the next resistance. Okay, I think we still got some time, slightly over 10 minutes. I think still got some time to take some questions out. So if you got any other questions, just feel free to drop in the Q&A. Yeah. So today it looks like there's a bit more time to take on some questions. For Berkshire, I think since it's been pulling back slowly. I think since after Warren Buffett said that he is leaving lah. So after that, the stock continued to pull back. Yeah, for now it's below this level 490 as well, a bit sideways, currently 484. So I think for now, no confirmation yet. I think we could see the stock continue to pull back towards somewhere close to 470, 475, this area. Then there might be some bounce over here from this area. Yeah, there could be like a downwards resistance line over here as well. The next one is on Twilio, ANAP, and Big Bear. Okay, for Twilio, I think it's a bit of range bound, still maintaining so it's an upward move and then range bound are still holding okay between 100 and like 112 to 122. So I think just consolidation still, yeah, as long as it doesn't break below 112, should be still okay lah. Then in future, I think if it breaks above 122, then perhaps it could continue to test like 100, this 130s, this area over here. So for now, likely still just moving sideways consolidation. Next one is on Anaptys Bio. And for Anaptys Bio, I think it's quite a range bound contract. It likes to form, from the looks of it, it likes to form like ranges. So currently it looks like another range, but higher lows along the way. So just a very gradual upwards move. So like 2150 over here is likely to be the support, and resistance for now it's probably at least 2450 to 26 area. So I think should be still quite range bound, I guess. Volume is quite low for this counter as well. Yeah, so that's how I think. Next one, Big Bear AI. For Big Bear, I think this looks like a consolidation. So good thing is that it's still holding 3.65 over here, this previous resistance as a support. So it formed a higher range as compared to previously. And resistance still like 4.4. So I think probably from the looks of it, it still looks like a range bound. But if it breaks above 4.4, I think there could be some continuation of this upwards move to test like next recent like probably around $5. Yeah, $5, and then next one is like close to $6. Yeah, so that's for Big Bear, probably still in the range, but let's see whether it can try to break 4.4 to break out this range. Next one is on Aero Group. Yeah, so this one is an IPO recently. I think if I'm not wrong, it does a bit of like drones kind of stuff. But I think this one, something about it, I think if I remember correctly, is like the share flow is quite low. So first day it opened up quite well, but after that subsequently it's been dropping. Yeah, so I think for now, for IPO wise, if it's week afterwards, I think just continue to probably observe out first lah. So nothing much to refer from other than how it does from the opening day. Probably it opened around close to $13, and yeah, some way for some signs to come in, to show some strength first. I think I can't remember this one. What's the IPO price also. So that might be another level of support, like if it does drop until that level. So for now, I think still weakness on that, no signal, no signs yet. But if it drops, maybe if it does drop towards close to this like 1290, there might be some short-term rebound from those of it. Yeah. Next one, another IPO, but another is the other case where it's gone crazy. So this one is Circle. So for Circle, I think very strong move already now. So for now, yeah, still definitely very strong move. I think if you want to buy this counter for a more safe level of buying would be to see whether it kind of retest the 5 MA levels. So yeah, since we're two days of very strong upwards move, and definitely it could still go higher, but I think nobody knows how high it can go. For now, just probably if it does a bit of sideways consolidation, if it does reconnect the 5 MA, or some of the swing lows like close to 200s, then that could be a better entry lah. That's my opinion. Next one is on some of the currents. That's on USD Sing dollar. So USD to Sing dollar, I think this one USD has dropped quite a bit, but I think over here around 1.28 is a support level in the past, and over here has continued to hold as a bit of support. And also possible breakout of this upwards resistance line today, showing a bit of strength today as well. So I think this pair we could see some rebound in terms of USD. Yeah, to test maybe like 1.3 as the next level. Yeah, so I will expect some short-term rebound for US dollar. Next one is on Snowflake. For Snowflake, I think this one is still a nice upwards move, a bit sideways for now, and just looks like a range now. I would think 200 is just consolidating 202 to 204, 215. Yeah, so range one for now, we might still see some consolidation. Yeah, but above that, if it breaks over 215, yeah, most likely continuation of the upwards move to fill out this gap. That's around 226 maybe as the next resistance. Then DXCM, Dexcom. Yeah, for Dexcom, I think it looks quite range bound kind of counter. So facing some resistance like this previous support 86. Then recently there was a breakdown of this 83.70 this range was trading. So a bit of a pullback further downwards. We could maybe see some continue pullback to the next area of support, like close to 76 to 77 this area. It might do a bit of rebound. Next one, question, any ETF for European market? Yeah, sorry, I don't really look into the European market, so I can't really recommend you an ETF for it. Yeah, so sorry I can't answer your question on this. Next one, hi Sharon. Your question, is it still okay to buy Micron now? It's up so much? Um, I think it's definitely very strong up a lot already. I think if you really want to buy, then it'd be better if there's a bit of a slight pullback. So if it does retest some of the moving averages, like for now 120, 116, that could be a better entry if you really want to enter. Yeah, but yeah, so after it's up so much, and if you want to enter there, I think you really need to monitor closely in case the trend changes lah. Yeah, but for now, if you want to consider 120, 116 will be better. Okay, next question. Hi James. USFE is $73 a full entry. US Foods Holdings Corporation. Okay, overall, this one is it's a trend. So 73 is somewhere near this previous resistance. Yeah, so I think it would be probably a good entry. So this was a bit of resistance in the past. And overall, it's an uptrend counter, so we are trading with the trend. And I think 73 will be an okay entry over here. Also, for now, looks like a bit of consolidation going on. Next question. If USD is stronger than Sing dollar, which sectors or counters that could fare better or worse? Uh, okay, sorry, I don't really know how to answer this question. I think it's a bit more to fundamentals. But if USD is stronger, I think those countries that actually export more outside of US, because they deal with if they do more business outside US, when they are compounding their results, they need to change back their all these foreign currencies back to USD. So if USD is stronger, that might actually kind of hurt their revenue more. Yeah, so that's something I can think of lah. If the company does a lot of business outside of US, yeah, that might impact those kind of export companies. Next question: if China invades Taiwan as US is attacking Iran, what do you think is the impact to the market? Okay, I really can't really say for sure, but if that really happens, then I think the market will probably drop more than what it's done today. So because that's really something, even though there is a chance for it, but I think the market really isn't prepared for it lah. So I think if that really happens, that could be something like a bit of a black swan event. Yeah, then I think the market could drop quite a bit. Yeah, that's just my guess lah. Yeah. Okay, I'll take one last question since about 9:15. Then the last one is on American Airlines. For American Airlines, I think, yeah, so recently the breakdown of this range consolidation at around $11. I think then currently testing this next support level at 10.40. So I think for now, probably some short-term momentum it's towards the downside. We might see if it breaks below like this 10.3 to 10.4, we might see it test the next support level, probably around 9.9. Yeah, I think for now, short-term wise, I think from what I see, like airlines and those cruise liners, their share price has been a bit weaker lah, because given that oil price is also went up, and these industries that are heavily dependent on the oil as well, so that will probably kind of hit them in the short term as well. Yeah, so for American Airlines, we might see some downside towards 9.9 if it does break below like the lows of last week, since the short term momentum is down now, since the breakdown of this range at $11. Okay, so I think that's all for today's session. I'll stop sharing my screen. Yeah, then I'll just share the link to the survey form as well as the link to join some of the community groups if you are new here. Okay, I've dropped the survey form link in the chat. So feel free to leave your feedback, over there. If you have anything to feedback about today's session or how you can improve your experience. If you feel it's good, you can leave a feedback as well. I would appreciate that. And also, if you're new here, welcome. Feel free to join the Poems Tree community on technical analysis if you haven't. So you can download it using the link over there. And basically, it's a group. There's many groups over there lah. So there's also like Singapore investing, US investing, TA, just naming some of the groups. So it's just a group, and you can if you have any question, you can feel free to just leave any question over there. Then you don't have to wait until every Monday. Then for the webinar, you can just drop it any time of the week. And when I see, I'll answer your question. I'll try my best to give you my take on the counter like, based on a TA perspective. Then also, if you're new, feel free to join um, the Poems TA community Telegram group as well at Poems TA. Yeah, so over there I'll post like TA content. You can feel free to ask questions over there if you have any as well. Yeah, so I think that's all for today's session. Thanks everyone for your attendance and also asking or for all your questions as well. So that's all for today. I hope this has benefited you, and I hope to see you all again in the next session. So I hope you all have a good trading week ahead and stay safe. And yeah, just hope you all can profit from the market lah. So I think that's it, and goodbye. Yeah, good night everyone. Bye bye.